Shakia.
Got the knowledge, y'all.
Hi you guys, my name is Guru Shakia and welcome to my channel. Today we are discussing 10 signs that you're a psychic medium. Now, being a psychic medium myself, I am very proud to be a psychic medium. It's actually very fun to me because I feel like the spiritual realm can be very funny. They can be very nonchalant. They can be more lighthearted than humans even. In my early journey, I used to be so scared to figure out what a medium was. I was so scared to figure out, ghosts and spirits, the ability to feel when they're around. But as I grew into my own power, I basically came to accept that, okay, God gave me a gift for a reason. Even as I'm talking to you guys now, I smile and laugh throughout my videos because I'm getting channeled messages from the spiritual realm. So today I wanted to come at you with 10 signs you're a psychic medium, because maybe you're in the point in your journey where you're like, well, there's a lot of wacky shit happening to me and I'm not sure what exactly it could be, and maybe these things line up with you. Now, keep in mind, everyone can be a psychic. Everyone has the ability to develop these gifts. It's just a matter of trusting your intuition, trusting that there is a spiritual realm here to help us and not hinder us. You do have to diminish a lot of fear, a lot of preconceived notions or thoughts that people implanted in your head about the spiritual realm. So, yeah. But, alright, so I have a list here. So, 10 signs you're a psychic medium. Number 1, you can sense ghosts and spirits. Now, a lot of people think this is just, nonsense. This is blasphemy. You can't really sense ghosts and spirits. That's only cartoon shit. But everything has some truth in it. Like all these movies and TV shows and things of that nature. The only thing I do disagree about TV shows is that they're more geared toward making you afraid of the spiritual realm when they're more here to help us. But one way you can know that you're a psychic medium is that you sense ghosts and spirits. It's just a knowing that, hey, there's something or someone in my house, or something or someone in my friend's house. I knew when I was really young. I used to be so sensitive and aware at a very young age. I just didn't know what exactly I was feeling, but I used to always sense ghosts and stuff in my room, or I would have situations where I just knew what was in certain rooms or in my friends' houses or things of that nature. But yeah, number 1 is the sign you know you're a psychic medium is that you sense ghosts and spirits. It's just a knowing, maybe you get a cold chill, or you just get this, or some psychic mediums can get this warm sensation on their wrist, or a sensation that someone's hugging you. These are all signs that you can sense the spiritual realm or angels. Alright, so number 2 is you are and were scared of the dark. Now, this is a big one because I've been scared of the dark my whole life, and I'm scared of the dark even now. To me, at one point, I was like, okay, this is getting very weird. Why am I just super scared of the dark? Not more so the dark itself, more so what was in it, because I feel whenever it gets dark, the spiritual world, I don't know, it talks louder or something of that nature to me. Or it's like there's a lot of commotion. It's like when you're a psychic medium, you're on sensory overload. So lights and things kind of keep you from, I don't know, I think there's the darkness, the veil that darkness creates, it kind of brings you closer to the spiritual realm, I guess. So whenever there's light, or there's a lot of sunlight or a lot of daylight, I feel like, oh, I feel a little better because, okay, there's not too much chatter in the spiritual realm. But when it's dark, it feels like there's that veil that's closer there that gets you closer to the spiritual realm. Or when you're about to go to sleep, your mind is the most at rest. So that is when you're most susceptible to hear spirits and ghosts and things of that nature. So when you're a psychic medium, you're kind of scared of the dark because it's like, when it's time to go to sleep, that's when ghosts and spirits are the most likely to contact you. just because that's just the most acceptable time for them to come out and to bug you or to things of that nature. So number 3 is you feel things about places. So clairsentience. So I had a situation recently where I went to my granddad's house and I had the worst feeling ever. Like I never had I wasn't aware that I had this gift until I went to a house and I felt unwelcomed. And I knew that was a whole nother level of like Super Saiyan shit. It was like the first time I felt unwelcome in the house, or I felt I walked into my granddad's house and I just knew the history of something bad happened there. It's kind of like walking into a place and you know a whole story that went down. There's even signs of psychics who touch objects and they get images from these objects that's important to someone. Like I had an instance where I touched glasses and I got a whole story background from who it belonged to. I touched my ex's car and I had a vision of him cheating type thing. And if you're not aware of like highly sensitive people and spiritual realms and these things, this would be kind of new and you'd be like bullshit. But these are just what I'm telling you, how you could tell that you are a psychic medium. Now, I had an instance basically where I walked into houses or places where I knew something bad happened. It's just a clear knowing. Clairsentience is like, just a clear knowing. There's no way you can say, you can really prove that you know. You just know. It's just a strong feeling. The same with people. You can know not who they are, but you can know at the core, like, well, can I trust this person? Or I can trust this person or I can't trust this person. It's kind of like that. So, the next one is 5. You're easily overstimulated. Now, this is for psychic mediums as well as highly sensitive people. Now, the first time this happened to me is when I was in the movie theater. Now, the movie theaters are the worst place possible that you can ever go if you're like a psychic medium or a highly sensitive person, because you're put in this small room, a small box with a bunch of people who have a lot of shit going on in their energy and their aura. Now, the first time I went and I was developing my gifts, I literally wanted to ball up and was like, oh, the world is too loud. And that could be possibly because I have a bunch of gifts like empath, empathy, where you sense everyone's emotions, and I'm a channeler, so I hear everyone's spirit guide. So a lot of times when you're a psychic medium, you have loved ones of others, loved ones of friends, who encourage you like, hey, can you send this message along for me? And it's very difficult to process all of these things at once, especially like you don't really know how to go to a friend and be like, well, your dead Uncle Tom said hello. But it's very overwhelming because like when I'll get to that part too, you channel, like you can hear voices basically. But basically you're overstimulated very easily. Now, number 6 is you have prophetic dreams. Now, this is along the lines of shamans too. Like, not just psychic mediums have dreams, but prophetic dreams. But basically, you predict the future in your dreams. I had an instance where I really wanted to go to a vocational school for CNA, and I was like, man, I don't really know when this is gonna come or when I'm gonna get it. But the night before, I had a phone call. I had predicted that I would get a phone call at noon, and just so happened I got a phone call at noon the next day. So I thought that was trippy. It was just very like deja vu. A lot of times when how to know you're a psychic medium is that you will have like deja vu instances, or and some of these are more psychic than medium, but I'm just mixing them all in. Now the next one is number 7. You have vision, so clairvoyance, and I talked about this in the previous video. I'll probably make a video of all the clairs, but clairvoyance is clear vision. It has to do with your third eye, and when it's activated and open, you receive messages from your spirit guides in the spiritual realm. They'll tell you what will happen if you take a certain route, if you do this, if you don't do this. A lot of times your guides or the spiritual realms use this process to have you act accordingly or act now in the here and now. Like they may insert a vision, for example, of you having a family or you owning a certain business, and then they'll be like, well, you have to do A, B, and C to get here, or they'll supply you with the actions that you need to take. And one of the ways that you know about a lot of these gifts, you could have, but you're unaware of it, and you just have to read on it. I learned about all my gifts is because I read up what the clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all these things, and I actually practiced making these gifts stronger, because I realized that they're here to help you, and it's kind of like having a cheat sheet to a game of life. But yeah. Number 8 is you give amazing advice. So a lot of times you can hear people telling you, oh man, you should be like a therapist. You should be, especially if you're a tarot reader, they'll be like, oh, you should be a therapist. You should, you should do this. You should do that. You make me feel good. You always know what to say. It's because you're like, you could be channeling without even really knowing it from the divine. Yeah, you could channel. I used to probably channel accidentally before I knew about channeling. My channeling wasn't very that really strong when I first figured out I was a psychic medium. I had to exercise that as well. I used to actually sit and automatic write, which is you meditate, clear your mind, allow your pencil to just write, and you try not to judge what you're writing. You just write, and then like you have the intent that you're writing from your guides, and that's how I used to start. Now, I used to do this for the longest, and sometimes it's so much information that you just have to write as fast as you can. But I did this for a while until I was comfortable receiving the messages, and I could trust in my intuition. I trust in what I was hearing, and I no longer needed to automatic write. But yeah, that's how you know another sign that you're a psychic medium, because people say you give great advice. Now, number 9 is electronics go wild around you. Now, this was another instance when I was in the house that I told you guys about, where I felt unwelcome, and I never had that feeling before. But it was a sense of like what happened? Oh, okay. A TV I was watching had went staticky all of a sudden after talking to an ex about, yo, I think there's like ghosts in here. And then all of a sudden the TV would just went whack, and I was just like, oh shit, that freaked me out. But yeah, moral of the story, I just got out of there quickly because that's how I felt. That's how that area made me feel. But that is another sign. How you know you're a psychic medium is because electronics will go crazy around you. It's like lights, cell phones, things of that nature, because there's just a lot of energy going on around you. There's a lot of spirits always around you, because when you're a psychic medium, like even right now, once you exercise your mind's eye and you learn how to see ghosts and spirits in your eye, you can turn it on and off. Maybe I'll make a video about that if you guys are interested. But you can literally see ghosts everywhere, or spirits, or it's kind of like Paranorman if you've seen that movie. But basically, like, you can always see ghosts chilling everywhere, or you can see angels, or you can see spirit guides. And it's like a whole nother world or veil of its own. And yeah. So the electronics go wild around you. And number 10 is you understand animals, so telepathy. So you just know what your animals feel like, or you know what nature feels like. It's kind of like a communication or a dance with the world around you. You just read energy very well. You have telepathy really, really well with your family, and just everything. You start to, when you develop your gifts, you just start to understand and know what telepathy is, and everything is energy. A lot of what psychic mediums thrive off of is energy, is reading energy. Like, energy is everything. So a lot of it is the spiritual realm, but understanding the laws of the universe. But yeah, that's it, everybody. 10 signs that you're a psychic medium. I hope you guys enjoy it, and peace.